Hello Commanders, Commander Placer here, and today I'm talking about microtransactions in games. Now, the reason why I've decided to talk about this is I've recently been playing Shadow of War, and it is well known, and some real controversy around the fact it has microtransactions in with loot crates. I kind of wanted to talk about it mainly because people have been asking me questions where I stand on it, and I thought I'd give my input because people obviously want to ask the question. This is going to be very much an unscripted, pretty much a rant, and yes, if I get off topic, I am going to be so sorry. And also, if you disagree with me, please leave me a well put together, well constructed comment telling me why. Because you know what, it's okay to have a different opinion and not hate the other person. So, without further ado, let's get this underway. So the first thing I really want to do is define the microtransactions that we're talking about here. And you get kind of these loot crates, and loot crates, the idea, if you don't know what they are, which I think most people should do as gamers, is that it's something where you pay some money and in it there's something that you want, maybe need for in-game, but it's not guaranteed. So there's a gambling element to it. So that's kind of one aspect there that you really need to bear in mind when we're talking about these. Another one that you really want to think about is that should they be in the game at all? And sometimes I think it's justified, and in particular, I'm going to say with these free-to-play models, and where it is a little bit pay-to-win, then yeah, I can see why they'd put it in there, because you're playing a game for free, and yeah, it kind of makes sense. And in with that whole pay-to-win thing, I guess that's almost a different topic, and we're probably going to leave that to one side, but the whole loot crates and the gambling, I think if loot crates were guaranteed, and you knew what you were going to get in them, then would they be called loot crates? They'd just be guaranteed pay to win, pay for gear, which I really don't like the idea of, I'm going to be honest. Now, if we're talking about the gambling aspect, yes, it could be seen as being addictive, and I don't know whether or not that's right and they should be regulated appropriately, like there should be no gambling commissions involved. It is just a computer game, so there is that to think about for me, and I really try and focus on that as an aspect, that it is just a game. So does it really matter? Well, yeah, it's real money, so that's where it starts to matter. Now, in particular, if we're talking about Shadow of War, you do have that loot crate, and you can buy it with in-game currency that you can earn by completing challenges, or you can shortcut and you can actually buy it with real-world money. Is that the right thing? No. Do I think it should be in there? Full disclosure, no, I do not. But I'm not going to go using it myself. So if I'm not going to use it, and most people I've spoken to don't think it belongs there, that should essentially mean it doesn't get used. But there will be people that want to, and that's okay, that is their choice. But then there are some people who may suffer with more of addictive personalities who will go out and they'll buy these loot crates, and you know what, get addictive. And I can understand it. I may not necessarily practice it or be like that myself, but I can understand that kind of, that scratch card rush, and it's a very similar aspect to that, where you get instant win, oh yes, better gear. If you play the game, you can complete it, you can get everything that you need in game in order to actually complete the game. Well, so why is it in there? Why is it in the game in the first place? Someone said to me, it's probably there because they've changed some balancing in a game somewhere to make it more appealing. And that's a really good point. You can just leave it though, and maybe put some more time into the game, and then you get some more playability out of the game. But some people don't. I guess that's kind of where I come from on this one. Now, with regards to the developers putting in, guys, it's supposed to be a AAA title. It's pretty scummy for you putting it in there. I understand it's not just the developer's decision. There may be a business model involved. Warner Brothers, looking at you. Ubisoft, again, looking at you. And they put that in there, and people do. They have to put these mechanics into the game, even though you're paying maybe £60 or £70 for a game, especially if you're going to go for DLC, which really should be free in the first place as well. But yeah, you go in there, you get these loot crates, and bam. You're paying extra. You're paying for a game when you really could just be playing it, but no, you're paying even more over and over again because it's the easy way. And a lot of people are going to say this is going to come from that entitlement that the younger generations have. The younger generations don't necessarily have the money to go out and do this. They're going to be using someone else's credit card somewhere along the way, and that's kind of where some parental control comes in. And I do think it is very much on the parents to ensure that children understand what's happening. And yes, the games should also make a declaration in there saying, with this purchase, please note this is not guaranteed. And that's where the regulation of gambling should come in. And there is a petition going around at the moment, at least here in the UK, saying that people should be regulated with their gaming and the gambling aspects with these loot crates. That's cool. Actually, you know what? I kind of agree with it. I also think at the same time you need to make sure that you take ownership for your responsibilities, and if you do something, it's on you. If you know you're spending real world money to get an item in-game, maybe stop, have a think about it. But at the same time, there may be those who are more vulnerable who aren't able to do that, but then they should have someone there who's making sure that that isn't happening in the first place. Obviously, simple solution would be they do not go in the game in the first place. Companies, gaming companies in particular, they're there to make money. And with piracy, yes, piracy. Move on to this one. With the piracy, it's an element of they're going to be encouraged to pirate games because of practices like this. I don't want the developer to have my money, I'm going to pirate a game. Or they have to put this in the game in order to combat piracy, which again, it makes no sense whatsoever, but that is a very, very real thing. Where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with games currently coming out now with microtransactions in. Pay-to-win microtransactions. In single-player games, the only person you are cheating when you do this is yourself. 100%. Now, if it's pay-to-win because you can't win otherwise, then that's game developers. They have totally, and excuse my language, fucked up their player base. They have made a huge mistake there. If it's pay-to-customize, totally cool, go for it. That makes sense. It doesn't affect your game whatsoever. It's just a matter of, oh, I wanted this new skin. That's okay. Didn't have to have it. Doesn't affect your game. Great. In a PvP aspect of a game though, well, this is something I completely disagree with. Pay to win in PvP, nope. And that's Star Wars Battlefront 2, for example. They have a loot crate system. And that's going to be upgrades on weapons, so it's going to improve your combat ability when you're fighting people. Pay to win. Totally disagree with that. When it comes to microtransactions in games, I'm all for pay for customize. I do not agree with pay-to-win practices. I don't think they should be in the games, but at the same time, yes, I will play a game with it in, but I will not engage in that particular aspect of it. One of the reasons for this being is I'm not going to cut off my nose to spite my face. If I enjoy a game, I enjoy a game. I will look at something on face value, and I can remove, at least emotionally, certain aspects of it from others, such as loot crates, the actual game, the storyline, gameplay. They're separate. And that's what I really want to kind of get across, because everyone has asked my opinion and I try and respond in the comment section on videos, but it just doesn't quite come across. One more thing I want to add in there as well is it costs money and programming time to put these into a game. Now, if people just completely boycott the game, they're probably going to become more commonplace, but they're going to become more attractive as prospects. So you get even better gear when you pay for them, to again increase the price and make them more worth their while. But if people buy the game but then do not use this mechanic whatsoever, it may begin to fade out. Unfortunately, people being the way they are, probably not going to happen, and game companies being where they are as well, is probably something going to push because they'll see a positive result from it and actually make some money. Only time's going to tell. But with future games coming up now, it looks like it's still going to be in there. I'm going to ask you guys for your opinions, so please do let me know in the comments section, where do you sit on it, and if I've said something in there that doesn't quite make sense or is a point you want me to elaborate on, please do ask. And again guys, I do ask that if you're going to come at me, make it constructive, and you know what, it's okay if we've got different opinions, this is just my opinion. I am not really interested in an argument or trying to get into it too much. If I'm not made sense, then please do let me know. Guys, I'll be back to normal gameplay videos, hints, tips, all that stuff coming up soon. And as usual, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in this type of stuff, please do hit the like button, helps me out. And subscribe, let me know if this is interesting or you want more of my opinions on these things going on in games, let me know. Once again, thank you for watching. Commander Plater, out.